Richard Cabral, congratulations on your surprise Emmy nomination this year. First of all, tell us how you found out and what your reaction was.
I found out, well, it happened to be my wife's birthday that morning, and I mean, I knew they were coming, but I didn't know, like, I didn't even remember the day. And most importantly, it was my wife's birthday, so we were on our way, and we were at a coffee shop in downtown Los Angeles, and we got my cappuccino, and we're about to go, and I get a text from Davy Perez, the writer on American Crime, one of the writers of American Crime, and we just happened to be from the same city. And he was like, it looks like the city of Montebello is going to be at the Emmys today. I mean this year. And that was how I found out. And I was just like, I think I lost my breath. And that was it. That's how I found out. And right after that, Michael McDonald, the producer of he called me, and yeah, and then it didn't stop after that.
Yeah, I can imagine it was a barrage, because look, a lot of people are really fascinated about this particular nomination. It's like a fairy tale, because the Emmy voters, they like to check off a lot of names of celebrities and, you know, very famous actors who are in particular programs, but every once in a while they surprise us by nominating like really worthy performances that people think, oh, that'll never get nominated, you know, that person's not known enough, or he hasn't been around long enough. They obviously were paying attention, because Hector Tontz is a character that we love. We follow his journey throughout the whole series. And so I'm just thinking, in terms of this fairy tale, have you really come to grips with how important this nomination is for your career?
I feel that it is huge. I'm learning that it is huge, but for me, it's like I work. You know, the reason why I got here is because of, I believe, all the work and just really concentrating on storytelling. And but I feel that I know it's a huge plus for me and for what me and my agents and my reps are trying to do. But we'll see. I mean, I'm coming back on season 2, and that's really all that I'm grateful going in. What happens after, I have no idea, but I'm just honored to be back with John Ridley, Michael McDonald, Felicity, and the rest of this cast, and really telling great stories. That's what I'm really happy about.
Yeah, let's go and talk about that for a moment, and then we'll come back to the nomination. So you are in season 2. I saw that the other day. Right. Quite a few of the cast members are returning, which is really fantastic. Have you got anything that you can tell us about season 2 yet?
Well, we're in a different city. We're in Indianapolis. It revolves around a rape, a male to male rape. So it's kind of something that I believe television and film hasn't really seen. And it's in a school, a private school, and that's kind of what it revolves around. And wow. I don't come in until episode 6, I believe. So I really don't know too much what's happening previous, but that's roughly what's happening right now.
Okay. Oh, that's very exciting. Yeah, Michael McDonald, when I spoke to him a few weeks ago, gave me a little snippet of what we could expect. So it sounds really different. It sounds like the model that American Horror Story, for example, is using, where they're bringing back this ensemble of actors with a completely different storyline. And we get to watch you guys in a different role, and just to see how you might take on a completely different persona. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for me because, like, I know I'm coming back like a totally different character. Like, they're taking off my hair, and I mean, they're gonna just change me up. And plus, throughout my career, my young career, I've portrayed the bad guy. Richard has always been like the bad guy, so this time it's a whole different spin, and I'm really excited coming in.
That's fantastic. Yeah, let's talk about your what you normally play out, you know, guys in gangs and, you know, the villain or the criminal. Right. And that's what we're used to seeing you in various other shows that you've been in. And Hector Tontz starts that way. You expect him to be the stock standard, stereotypical guy. And that gets completely obliterated by towards the end of the series. You realize that is just not him at all. There's so much depth to him. Tell us about how you got into the mindset of playing Hector Tontz.
There was just so many similarities between me and Hector. And I'm gonna come to my personal life. Just, I mean, me being incarcerated, me having me having children, and all that kind of just helped create this character of Hector Tontz. And it was real. There was no separation. Like what you see on the film was really like personal, deep feelings coming out of me. And I was just grateful that John really was able to want to create this character and show this three-dimensional side, and just really understand why people of this nature become what we become. And hopefully that's what was received on the other end.
Yeah, the press has focused quite a lot on your fascinating personal story and how you rose above your past to be the person you are today. And it really sets an example about how anything is possible if you work hard enough. What more can you tell us about your past and how it was obviously so critical to you playing this role so authentically?
My past was a huge, I mean, it was a huge thing for this role. I mean, I spent from the age of 13 years old all the way up to 25 pretty much incarcerated. Yeah. So this was me. There's something that I learned. There was that isolation feel that, I mean, I'm 32 years old now, but I mean, this is what is ingrained in me, and it was absolutely necessary to go through in order for Hector Tontz to be really understood. Like I have been shattered. I know what it is to not have nobody in life, but just to depend on God or the spirits. And that's what Hector was. There was nobody to reach out. He was isolated. He was, and so that's in me. And I was just honored to be able to bring my real emotions, my real life experiences into Hector Tontz.
What would you say the most challenging aspect of playing Hector was during the run of the series?
It's hard to just go back, bro. Like just hard, like to really go into those dark places and just like just really feel lost, really feel like I was incarcerated when my son was born. And like it's one of the most screwed up feelings you could ever imagine, knowing that your son is out there in the world without his father. And like to have to go back to that, like it destroys me. But I felt that that was the only way that I could give Hector Tontz a voice, a real voice. And this is what the world needed to hear. And I put my personal feelings to the side, and I sacrificed in order for Hector Tontz to be fully told.
Yeah. And you could tell that you were going to some very uncomfortable places. There's some key scenes in the whole run of the series where we really get inside the head of this guy, and it was just so raw. And now you're telling us that a lot of it was coming from your personal experience. I mean, I'm telling you, as a father, if I have to spend a day away from my kid, it hurts. So I can't imagine how difficult it would have been for you. And you're drawing on that emotion, right?
Right. No, and I remember, like, I think towards episode 8, 9, when I see my daughter, when I see her, and then like it's hopeful again, and then it's stripped away.
Yeah.
And then I remember my daughter Bella, she was like a year, and I went back. I got incarcerated for another 30 days, and I remember her coming to the LA County Jail, and she was little, and I remember her putting her hands on the window, and like that was it. That was where I had to go again.
It's amazing. Yeah, it really is quite amazing. I always wonder how. I've spoken to so many of your fellow castmates, and I've spoken to Michael as well. And I'd like to know what you think about how the show dealt with the themes of race and class and the criminal justice system and faith, bigotry. There's a whole range of themes that first season was really about. Was there anything in particular about Hector's journey that you felt really perfectly captured those particular themes about how certain people are just marginalized and put in the system unfairly, perhaps?
Oh, definitely. I believe we could start from the beginning, and I think that is what catapulted Hector's journey when he tells the officer, when they shoot him. And I mean, and it was so just eerie, kind of, because the same way Hector got shot is the same way that man in South Carolina got shot in the back. And like, it was like, what? And we filmed it before. So it was something that was happening at the time. And it goes back to, and he tells him, you know, why you shot me? Because you don't give a damn about me. And I think that was, that little line spoke to the masses. That spoke volumes. And the world like, people have came up to me and was like, wow, like I've never heard that before, because we don't care about these people. That's automatically what you think about. And like that for starters is what I believed was the first time it's been told like that. But there was so much. But people ask me like, the American Crime has a range of things that was happening. But truthfully, like coming into it, I didn't see it like that. I was just directly focused on Hector. Like I was gonna tell this story of Hector, and then till after I filmed, then I was able to really recap and see American Crime as a whole.
Yeah. And, you know, because there was so many stories happening at the same time,
Exactly.
it would have been really hard for each of you to really try to cut through so that your particular story is what we remember. And fortunately for you, and this is not putting anybody else down, but for you, Hector was just a storyline that many of us gravitated to because it was so positive at the end, especially. A lot, you know, there was 3 deaths, you know, there was a murder-suicide, and there was another suicide, and then you know, Barb was, you know, a shattered woman, and everybody seemed to really end so depressingly, which is so real. That's reality. But Hector, there was hope in Hector's story, and I love the way it ends with him just saying, "I feel," and bang, cut to black. What do you think about the way it ended? I thought that was amazing. It was very.
I loved it. I mean, for me, I think the greatest form of art is when you leave it to the audience.
Yeah.
Let you know, I'm not gonna force feed you and tell you what it should be. We're on this journey together. Storytelling is a journey together, and I mean, it couldn't have been any better. And I remember talking with John that day shooting that, and he was like, whatever comes out, Richard, whatever you feel. And I was like, all right. So I mean, after filming that, and it was out after it aired, like I remember people coming up to me on the streets and like they interpreted what they thought it was. One of the guys told me, he was like, "Hey, you were saying like, I feel like I'm gonna get a haircut." I remember one guy told me that, I feel like I'm gonna get.
Why not? That's a good thing.
I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, so I think it was just beautiful, and that's why I'm really like so jazzed to go back and get back with the team and do it again.
Yeah, sink your teeth into some really good writing. That's always a plus when you get to do that. So let's talk about Emmys now. So you're nominated. You're nominated with a whole bunch of really fantastic, amazing actors. You're going to have a really good time that evening with your peers. But if you do win, what do you think will be the first thing that comes to mind if, you know, in that blur, in that moment, if it happens?
It's gonna be loud. I think it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud, and I think there's gonna be a lot of tears, but joyful tears. And it's gonna be a real special moment. And I know my friends in the neighborhood. No one's ever seen the Emmys before in the neighborhood, but there's gonna be Emmy parties in the neighborhood and in the old neighborhood. So there's gonna be a lot of celebration. And this is not just for me. If this victory comes, it's for the people. You know, it's to really let people know that you don't it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to end your life and like how it's been set. You know, we write our own destiny. And that's what that Emmy will stand for.
Yeah, that's perfect. And look, even the nomination is so inspiring to people who, look, if you just work hard enough and you do a good job, you do sometimes get the reward. You just have to work at it. And that's the best thing about, I think, your nomination. Also, I like it how the voters actually paid attention this time and nominated some people. You know, there's some really interesting nominations this year, Tatiana Maslany and a few others. Out of left field, they were paying attention. They paid attention to you. They're watching episode 10, that everyone has to submit their own episode. You submitted episode 10, which is the episode where you're deported, and you know there are tears. It's a good one. So we'll see what happens.
Thank Thank you.
All right, good luck, mate. And maybe we'll talk to you for season 2 next year.
All right. See ya.